Hey everyone, this is Chad Agrawal. I'm the owner of Perfect Clicks LLC. We're a digital media company based here in Parsippany, New Jersey. We specialize in web development, SEO, digital marketing, and a whole lot more. A lot of people don't know that we actually specialize in CRM implementations, and we also do a lot in the medical field. We have done a lot of work to build out patient forms for pain management facilities, sleep doctors, psychiatric cares, urgent cares, primary doctors, spine surgeons, spinal care, chiropractors, and different businesses like that. So we do have quite a bit of experience in building out patient forms. So I wanted to make this video and kind of give you some insights on how to build your forms out. And if you stay till the end of the video, I will also share with you my personal take on whether you should build your forms yourself, and if you do, what might happen. So I'll leave that to the end. And so for right now, let's jump right into it. So today we're going to be talking about building your own patient intake forms and how you can publish them online. There's a lot of different considerations that need to be made. First off, you really have to make sure that you're picking a platform that's HIPAA compliant. You may have to sign a business associate agreement or a BBA. You want to make sure that you follow all of the legal requirements for a medical practice to have your intake forms. So for that, I would say definitely speak with your lawyer or any legal professional or your business advisor or somebody like that, because that is not me. I have just done these kinds of implementations, so all of this information you should definitely check, do your own research, and implement this on your own after getting some ideas, but checking with a professional. That being said, you have a lot of opportunities to change the way your business operates and brings in that patient information. That can make a huge difference, not only to the patients and how they experience your brand and your practice, but also in how your practice operates and how much time you spend looking at a patient's notes or how you see their history and things like that. So it's a really big piece to be able to take all that information and make it work for your unique practice. I think that's one of the key advantages that you'll see is many of the best practices will actually take that data and use it to their advantage and really build on that. And it takes time. So first off, you want to decide about the format of your forms. The intake forms can either be multiple pages. You'll see that some practices have like a welcome packet with multiple forms that you have to fill out. So you actually have to go in and fill out like 4 different forms, make sure they're submitted and check them off. Some people have it available on their website where you have multiple forms that are available from one link, so you're still filling that out. And then you have medical practices that also have their everything consolidated into one form, which includes their consents, their welcome, their history. Basically everything is right there in one form that they kind of fly through, and all the signatures are done there too. So you really have to make a decision as to, do you want to have multiple pages, do you want to have multiple steps, or would you like to have one really long form, or is there different ways to condense that? And what we've seen is there usually are many ways to condense it with the way that you format the form. You can actually use different drop-downs or tick boxes and things like that to actually make sure that you're condensing that form as much as possible. Also, the way you format things in terms of the width, while you're still making sure that it can be viewed on a tablet or on a phone. So there's a lot of different considerations to really make it as condensed as possible, because people will make it much more approachable, right? It's still better than using those brown clipboards, if you remember those, and filling them out manually. So that really did suck. But you want to make sure that your form is as easy to fill out as possible, because that means more patients are going to be ready for that time of visit, so you can actually spend time taking care of them and providing them great care. Once you've decided the format of your form, you should start crafting all the questions that you're going to ask. You can have all of your basic information like contact information, emergency contact, family information, things like that. But then you're also going to want to have your medical history, the symptoms that they're experiencing right now, any kinds of allergies or anything like that. So depending on the type of practice that you're running, you may need certain types of medical history, allergies and things like that. But then you also want to get into some of the details, maybe for the insurance provider, if they were in an accident and maybe if there needs to be attorney information or something like that. So there's always different stakeholders depending on your practice. You want to know if they're working with any other doctors, have they seen treatment, things like that. So have a list of questions. There's usually some really good tools and templates out there that you can use. If you guys want more information about that stuff, just let me know, put in the comments below. But definitely try to get the right questions, get a really good outline going, have different sections, have some consents, and that way when you have all your questions and things and your forms come together, you can have a lawyer review it, you can have all of the different stakeholders, like let's say your billing professionals or whoever's working with you, to make sure that you're ticking all of the boxes, because that's eventually going to drive your bottom line. And it's also going to make your life a lot easier too. So now, once you have your questions in place, you kind of know what you're going for in terms of the layout, it's time to choose the type of builder. This is the part that's a little bit interesting to me, because you have a few different options. You can really go with your built-in EMR or EHR solution. Most EMRs have a form of some sort. They don't always let you embed it on your website, so you really have to ask them. A lot of the major EMRs will have some sort of a solution for that, so they can intake the forms really quickly and it goes directly into your EMR. I do recommend using the EMR depending on the practice, but there's also a lot of limitations to what you can do with that. The good part is with those kinds of solutions, or with the EMRs, you really have a HIPAA compliant and it's very secure because they're really following all the steps. Your next option is to have an online form builder. Now, there's a lot of form builders that are not HIPAA compliant, so you have to be really careful about that. And then there are some that are HIPAA compliant, but you have to pay for an additional fee or an add-on to make sure that your data is safe and it's following all the rules and regulations. This gives you a lot of flexibility to be able to import or embed your forms onto your website, and also to add in custom questions and kind of build things and design it the way you want. We'll get that into that a little bit. And then another option, the third option, which is really helpful, is called a medical CRM. Basically, there are some really great CRM companies. Again, if you want me to do a video on this, please let me know in the comments below, that will help you manage your patient information and capture all of that information, but then also follow up and do things like that on the marketing side. So that's definitely something to consider and definitely something to look at. You probably could build it out if you're using an EMR. They're drag and drop. If you're doing an actual form builder, you could definitely do that on your own. As soon as you start getting into the CRM world, you probably need a little bit more infrastructure or foundational knowledge to how to manage that, but then you could do it on your own. All of those have pretty user-friendly options to build it by yourself. But it really depends on your tech savviness and your level of complexity, and also how much time you have to devote to something like this. Also, you're going to want to choose one of those three options based on the type of functionality that you want. EMRs and EHRs are probably going to offer you the least amount of functionality depending on which one you've chosen. If you're with any of the top shelf, they will cater to what you want, but most practices need some sort of PDF download. They may need to customize what that PDF download looks like. So that's really important to make sure that that PDF download is exactly how you want it, whether that's for the clinician or the practitioner, or for the patient, or for the billing assistant. So those exports and PDFs are very valuable. I recommend looking into that before choosing any specific platform. Next, you want to make sure that the forms are built in a way that they're easy for charting and easy for review. So if a clinician's using it, they want to be able to get to that information fast, and it's going to impact the quality of that visit and that experience. So depending on if you go with a form builder, you probably have a little bit more flexibility to build it exactly the way you want. Or if you go with the EMR, you may already have that information in a format that you're used to. Additionally, same thing goes for the CRM. You can customize it to the way that you like, and that really does help. Some other functionalities that you should watch out for are, making sure that your e-signatures are at like the highest grade, so that way they are held up in a court of law, or if there's a dispute for payment, all of your e-signatures and consents are really good to go. Also, you might want to offer some sort of scheduling features or support if somebody needs help kind of getting through that. Can they kind of reach out to you? Is there any options for that kind of stuff? And you may want to have email automations and alerts or notifications. So emails are really important because under HIPAA compliance, you may not be able to send out specific information within the email, but you can send out certain emails, and then whether it's confirming an appointment or sending out some automations, sometimes just doing certain functions and automations can save your team hundreds of hours. And that's hours spent from not missing appointments, or hours spent from not following up for a specific information or a specific contact, getting some information up, insurance information updated. So there's a lot of different automations that you can build into your process. Also, it can help your billers to make sure that they're getting everything they need as well. So I really think when you're making this decision, look at the functionalities that's needed and what are your non-negotiables. You're always going to have certain limitations within your system. So you want to make sure these are the things that I need most, I care about most, and then you can kind of plan from there and looking at your budget as well. Next, I want to talk about one of the most underappreciated aspects of building your own intake forms, which is the design. This is a huge opportunity to make that transition and to make your brand seamless across that entire experience. Think about a new patient coming in for the first time. If they see the right colors, the typography, the font, and it all plays into a certain lifestyle and a feel that they resonate with, they're already going to have a better visit. They're going to have a better experience, and they're going to be more open to what you have to say, because there's going to be a level of trust, and it's going to reaffirm that they made the right decision in coming to you because you took care of all of these details. So doing the design really well can have a huge impact on the way a patient sees you and sees your practice, and kind of is receptive to coming back and making sure they made the right decision. But also, design can have a huge impact on making sure that everybody gets their forms filled out. And so when you have all the information there, the right drop-downs, the right fields, the right modules, if it's very user-friendly and it's very easy to do, you can definitely increase the number of people filling out your forms, getting it done quicker, which is going to save you a lot of time and accelerate that pipeline. So I really think if you are having any kind of operational difficulties, look at the forms, look at the process, look at the infrastructure that you have in place, because it can make a huge difference to your practice, especially in terms of ROI, operationally. It can make you a lot more efficient to have great design. So from the customer standpoint and from the internal standpoint, it really, really helps to have amazing design. And so that brings me to the last part of the video here, where I really could recommend that anybody could build out a great patient intake form. And I think the difference between doing it yourself and building it out and just having it once and is kind of a long-term view of seeing that, are you going to want updates? Are you going to want to build in new automations? Are you going to build it for functionality? And are you going to have a roadmap and a strategy for what you need right now, what you need a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now? And how does it change as your business grows? Do you expand into different specialties, or do you offer different services or treatments? Are you incorporating more of one condition versus another? So you have to account for that change over time. And so I would recommend working with a web developer or a CRM company, or maybe Perfect Clicks, but just working with a partner who can build it for you so you can spend more time running your practice. And this way you have somebody who can troubleshoot bugs, take care of issues, submit tickets when needed, and really help you and work with the business. So that's my take on it. But I do think that most of you are very much savvy enough to build it yourself, but you really want to think about, is that something you want to do? And you might get a better ROI having somebody else do it who's going to bring it together as a brand. So if you're looking to build online patient forms, please do reach out to us at perfectclicks.com or info@perfectclicks.com. You can email us there. Also, if you have any questions about building out your forms, I'd be happy to answer them in the comments below, or we'll make another video as well. If you did get one tip, or anything that helped you in this video, I would appreciate it if you hit the like button and do subscribe. It definitely does help out the channel, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video as well.